John was always very, very supportive. Like I think I mentioned in maybe another one of the videos, he would come to my Empire Brass Quintet concerts if he was in Boston and we were playing. He heard our Naumburg Award concert in Avery Fisher Hall, and he was just very, very supportive. When I told him I was really composing a lot, I sent him a cassette and I think it was around 95, 96, that I sent him this cassette of a recital I did in Jordan Hall of all music I've written. Trombone and piano, a trombone and orchestra, something called Berkshire Moments, a piece for trombone and 11 other instruments. And I sent him this. He didn't know I was really writing music, and so I sent him this. And he wrote me such a beautiful note back, and how he got so excited during Berkshire Moments that he actually got lost in the car. From wherever he was going to, he got lost. And he really encouraged me to keep up the writing. And a couple years later, in '98, I took a sabbatical from the Boston Symphony. And I ended up in Tampa, being a visiting professor at the University of South Florida. It just so happened in the spring of '99, we started to get in touch. And I was still, of course, in Florida during the winter or the spring semester. And he said he was going to be in the Tampa area. I thought, that's great, we can get together. And the amazing thing was, it was going to be during his 75th birthday. So that was wonderful. It actually was maybe only a week or two before he actually arrived in Tampa. I think he was visiting a son of his. So Carol and I made arrangements to meet John and Myra at a restaurant, I think in St. Petersburg. Or Clearwater, I'm not sure, someplace in that whole area. And I thought, when I woke up that day, I thought, wait a minute, I want to write him a piece. What a great birthday present. You know, you're 75, you need a piece written for you. So I wrote him a piece that morning called Happy Birthday, John. Or Happy 75th, John. Now I can't even remember the pieces I'm writing. Happy 75th, John. And I wrote it up and gave it to him that day. And he was pretty wow about it. And I ended up recording that piece. And the same year, he called me. He wanted me to substitute for him at a master class that he couldn't do. I think it was in North Carolina or South Carolina. And the person in charge was actually one of his former students, Dr. David Hamilton, who actually took several lessons from me also when I was in the orchestra. And in the early 80s. So here I was talking with him about doing this particular masterclass recital that he was going to do that he couldn't do, he had a conflict with. And as soon as I got off the phone speaking to him, I felt another piece come on. And I called this one After a Call. It has a lot of extended and extensive harmon mute techniques in it. It really sounds like a conversation. I think it really captures a certain whimsical, quick-minded, playful qualities that John has. And both these pieces, they're called Swallows, and they're on my Occurrences CD. It's called Occurrences. It came out in, 2002, I believe. It's been out for a while. But I really felt that those two pieces captured aspects of John. And I find myself now writing a piece for him. And I'm not sure what it's going to be called yet, but it was an incredible process. I'm not done. I just basically started in the past 3, 4 days, 5 days, and all of a sudden last night the whole thing took a different turn. And I realized the piece I had started writing was actually like a puzzle. It wasn't really the piece of music yet. I had to extract pieces from this stuff that I wrote and go and put them together in a way I never would have thought. And there's a lot within that, but maybe sometime I'll reveal some of the content, because when I start writing music about a person, I get on their frequency, and a lot of things come up about the person. So I think this will be a very interesting piece that will be world premiered on February 24th in Jordan Hall at the annual New England Conservatory's Brass Bash, which features the faculty and the students, and I'll conduct the trombone choir in this piece. And I think it might be a great way to transfer certain things about John in this piece, because certain parts of this piece, I have a feeling the people who studied with John and knew him pretty well might hear some things in this. And I found it very interesting that the piece came to me in the form of a puzzle. For John was always thinking. He was thinking, and then there was something else thinking in back of that. And putting things together, and trying to tie things together, and really fascinated by how things worked. Very interesting that it came to me like this. Are you trying to throw me another difficult etude? Life's interesting. And I really love John. I always will. He means a great deal to me. And he's a real example of someone who had the drive, who had the will, who had the passion, and would not give up. And I think he saw that in me too. Because to make it in anything, you have to want it badly. It's a part of your life. And for some people, it's a life raft.